Thousands of people across the US are marking the 5th anniversary of George Floyd's murder, including here in Minneapolis, where white police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck even after Floyd gasped, "I can't breathe." His killing galvanized the Black Lives Matter protest movement and demands for police reform after several high-profile police killings of black people. 5 years later, there seems to be a backlash against Black Lives Matter and reforms associated with the movement.
The days of woke are over. The days of that crap are over in this country. We're going to have law and order.
Just last week, the US Justice Department dropped police reform agreements reached by the Biden administration with 8 cities, including Louisville, Kentucky, and Minneapolis. But lawyers say reforms to prevent police brutality can continue without federal support.
We got people who are in the national policing who are for reform. And their officers, some are black, some are white, some are Latino, some are different backgrounds, but they all know that trust is the key to a safer community, and they're not going to stop no matter what Trump does.
There's concern that since the height of the Black Lives Matter protests, momentum for police reform is slipping away. Civil rights activists attending a memorial at George Floyd's gravesite say their fight against police brutality isn't in vain.
History will record these moments, how we stood up for our children, we spoke up for our children, and we fought for our children to get equal justice under the law.
Yet some of Trump's allies have called for a federal pardon of jailed officer Derek Chauvin. Youth leaders say it's a slap in the face after years of progress to change policing.
We've made some significant strides working with our Minneapolis Police Department as far as their future hiring, some of the policies that they have in place to ensure that those type of things won't happen. Well, hopefully don't happen again.
A passerby filmed the 8.5 minutes as George Floyd struggled for life. 5 years later, the US Justice Department dismissed investigations into police misconduct launched in the Biden era. It raises questions whether police departments can be held to account. Barbara Angopa, Al Jazeera.
Well, let's bring in Zellie Imani. He's a Black Lives Matter activist and co-founder of the Black Liberation Collective. He joins us live from New Jersey. Zellie, so many people in the US, including civic leaders and groups like Black Lives Matter, thought that the death of George Floyd would have brought about a national reckoning. But that sense of change and momentum seems to be disappearing. So what's happening to the Black Lives Matter movement, just briefly?
Yeah, a lot has transpired since the unfortunate death of George Floyd. And what we've witnessed is that there hasn't been a decrease in the number of police-involved deaths in the United States. In fact, those deaths have been increasing each year since the murder of George Floyd. But there is so much progress still to be made. But unfortunately, because of the white privilege that we have in a society, that individuals fear a loss of their privilege, and in return, they give a backlash when they feel that they're losing their power and they feel that they're losing their status, even if that means safety for not only black people, but for safety for all of us. They still feel that threat.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the political wind has certainly changed direction since President Trump came to office. His administration says it's now going to roll back those Biden-era police reforms in cities where there have been high-profile police killings and brutality. What does that mean then, Zellie, for police-community relations, particularly in black neighborhoods?
Well, one of the things that you often hear politicians say after a brutal death is that they want to rebuild the relationships between police officers and the community. But that trust and those relationships never existed in the first place. The relationship between the black community and police officers has always been one of repression and oppression. So it can never be rebuilt if it never existed in the first place. What we attempted to do with the Black Lives Matter movement is say that, hey, we have a problem with the police in our community, and reform specifically isn't going to solve it. Just by hiring more black officers isn't the solution, because whether it's a black officer or another minority officer, they still have that power and they still have that ability to harm us and get away with that harm. So what we was trying to do is create these alternatives to policing to be able to respond to mental health crisis calls and respond to different community calls that won't bring police. Because what we know is that when there's a close proximity to police officers, there's a higher chance of violence.
Let me just get a final thought from you, Zellie. I mean, given that there seems to be this significant drop in public support for Black Lives Matter and that police reforms are being rolled back by Trump, do you think we could see another George Floyd-style killing in the future? And what lies ahead now for the national momentum behind social justice reforms?
There's been many George Floyds since the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. For example, Najee Seabrooks in Paterson, New Jersey. He called 911 because he was going through a mental health crisis. And instead of getting the support and the care that he deserved, the police showed up in riot gear and killed him. And that's a story that's often told throughout the United States after the death of George Floyd. So what we need to do is, even if there is this pushback, even if there are these rollbacks of these policies that were going to protect us more, we still have to continue to invest and be creative because people still deserve safety and people still deserve justice, whether or not Trump is in office or not.
Zellie Imani, really good to get your thoughts. Thank you very much indeed for talking to Al Jazeera, Zellie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.